Hello YouTube, this is Ben Yussel. Just make a quick review here, movie review about the new Star Wars movie that just came out. Last Jedi, I think. Went to see it with my family, just more of my siblings over Christmas break, and yeah, it. I know that a lot of this is. I really do like Star Wars. I've liked. I mean, I'm more of a warsy, I suppose you could say, than a Trekkie. So the interest is real. I don't just make these videos just for increased views. I never. So, I know this will get more views. It's just due to the nature of the topic, but still, I think this particular movie deserves a good review, or at least a more in-depth review, perhaps. So, of course, I'm not. Who are those guys? Anyway, I'm not a professional critic, right? But I know a few things about films, acting. So basically, sorry, I'm gonna actually start this by mentioning those things that people are most likely to say that they didn't like about the movie. And of course, everything I say at this point, spoiler alert, right? Spoilers. If you have not seen this movie, go see it before I talk about it at this point, right? So again, go see the movie before I say, go, like, stop watching this video right now, go see it, then come back and, right, then watch it. So, things that people won't like. Well, there's something you said about how much some of our warsy guys out there will enjoy a good sword fight. Lightsaber fight. Lightsaber duel. One of the reasons why the Phantom Menace was so great, it stood out that the lightsaber dueling scene of three of them fighting at once. One of the reasons why it was so great was because the guy who played Darth Maul was actually a professional sword fighter, fencer. And so he really knew what he was doing. And he made the character just come alive that way. Very challenging. Made him look like, oh my gosh, Darth Maul is pretty stinking powerful, right? Yeah, I mean, Qui-Gon, well. So, yeah. So we were looking for something like that in The Last Jedi. And yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of that, but not nearly as much as I think a lot of people would have liked. But more, this is the real spoiler part. I think we all kind of have an idea of what we wanted in the future for the Jedi and the Sith. We probably know that the Sith they go through basically talking about cycles of good and evil. It's kind of a larger scheme thing. We like to have a lot more variety in those cycles, and not just good, evil, or but it's more powerful. But I think we would have liked to have seen Luke become old and have trained a lot of Jedi and have those Jedi. It's just sort of new, big group of Jedi. And we would have liked more Sith lords and Sith apprentices that were as good, if not better, than the ones we already know about. And we would have liked just, more of what we had in the past with some differences, right? Maybe some things are different about, that we liked, that were, different but good, right? I think Yoda's pretty indispensable as far as coming back as a ghost. That part will, you guys will like, or that you have liked. But what happens, and again, I shouldn't get into it too much, but it's all, I just know that there's some what I'm saying that will be kind of a spoiler thing. So, so yeah, I mean, I mentioned I should mention here. Basically, what happens is not really what many of us have envisioned in the future to happen to the Jedi. In a way, I mean, maybe we just didn't quite see things going the way they did. They kind of do. I mean, there's kind of that hint that there's going to be a lot. It's going to be a new order, maybe started by. I'm gonna check. I can't remember her name. Ray or something. Okay. She might start a new order of Jedi with Yoda's ghost and Luke's ghost and Obi-Wan's ghost and everybody. They're all ghosts. They can come back and talk here and there. The Beyond lets them talk Force, right? But you're going to have a new group of people. Leia's still alive. Again, this is all spoiler alert stuff. Sorry. I mentioned this in the description so you guys don't watch this accidentally. Leia might help out with this. But you have Kylo Ren. I love that character. He's my favorite character so far. By far. In the, as far as characters that will be recurring in new movies. Yeah. But, it's interesting that he's a Sith, but he's, he's got sympathies toward Rey or something. He's got things that he won't do. So I guess I can see him as being not as evil as some other Sith. Or maybe he's, his passions are different. His goals are different. His desires are different. He's not, he just cares about people. Some certain people. Maybe he's just, ultimately something selfish, but he at least cares enough to not kill everyone. That's good, right? I don't know. Has some humanity about him. Maybe that humanity will get stripped away bit by bit and become like Vader or something. But in this case, it might be his choice. Or Vader's case, it was kind of something that he was kind of cajoled into a little bit, but somewhat. But you guys can criticize hating Christians and all you want. I know. That time, that that transition to being a Sith was always a little bit sudden. It was kind of, I don't know. Anyway, kind of worked for me, kind of whatever. But I mentioned that this is kind of old news. So, what else can I say about this movie? Well, it was a great movie. It's like, I think it was worthy of being considered among even the very top 5 Star Wars movies. Really, it had enough going on. There was enough twists and turns that happens. I thought, yeah, it was pretty solid. And I like the acting. The actress that played Rey, I know she's younger. She's very critical of herself. The only thing that's happening is that she's maybe a little bit hard on herself, and on occasion maybe overacted a little bit, as many younger actors do. She'll get better. So I don't want to be as critical of her, but she's put in a pretty prominent position. Yeah, Star Wars seems to kind of, it's great because, I like how in Star Wars a lot of actresses get their start in acting, for better or for worse. And I just think, some people think it brings the movies down, but I just like, I don't really see it. I mean, what are you expecting? Gone with the Wind, or are you expecting the Hunt for Red October? I mean, are you expecting all the actors to be seasoned, very, very, very good? The central characters, the central actors. I mean, are you expecting an all-star cast? In Star Wars is different because it has a mix of more experienced actors with less experienced actors, and it's always been the way it's been, and I think it's great that way. I love movies and franchises. I don't like the word. I hate that word franchise. I hate it, but it's great when you can have those movies that tend to be great opportunities for younger actors or for less experienced actors to get in there. Anyway, I think they rated the actor for Ray. What was her name? Daisy Ridley or something. She did fine. I mean, like Finn will probably be in other. There's some other characters that'll come back in the next movies. There's probably going to be a fair number of new characters though. I could see how that would be very much the case. Kylo Ren is obviously going to be very central to the new movies. And I know there's a bunch of Warsies that are probably leaping down my throat at this point for all the little mistakes I made or all the things I'm not talking about. Just hold your horses, guys. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of other reviews out there that you guys will like more than this one. But like I say, I'm neither a hardcore Warsie nor am I a professional critic. So anyway, so anything else I should mention about this movie? It didn't do too much in the CGI, which is nice, and it was a little shocking to me. Again, this is spoiler alert. A little bit. There were times when what Luke was saying seemed really intense, and I wouldn't say it's out of character, but because we don't have a whole lot of Luke, other than the trilogy, original trilogy, right? When he's younger, we don't see a lot of Luke until now, and he is pretty intense. I mean, he's more just like depressed down the dumps. Beyond that, really. It's not because he hasn't lost any powers. He's still amazing. Has extraordinary power still in the Force. But it's like, yeah, I mean, they could have really gone into this more, actually, in my opinion. Whatever Luke was going through was pretty flipping intense for him to speak the way he did to Rey. Rey was also experiencing some things, too, that were rather intense as well. So that's really a bigger part of the movie than they probably didn't focus on that as much as maybe they should have, but they only had so much screen time. But I can tell that this was, this is one of the things that I was thinking about a bit more after the movie, even now. I was thinking about some of the things that Luke has mentioned about the dark side or about his experiences and why he wanted to no more Jedi or no more, but he wasn't thinking, oh, there's the Sith out there. But maybe it was just like he didn't want maybe ideally no more evil, right? Of course, that's what we all want. I mean, but he probably didn't want whatever I mean, I don't know. I just know what that the spiritual and the emotional and especially the magical, the powers, right, that Jedi had, and the power to become evil because of how powerful you were becoming, right? All that stuff, the temptation to do bad things with your powers. For him, it must have influenced what he was saying a great deal. And with much power comes much responsibility, right? So he just wanted no more of that to happen to anyone else. And when he lost his apprentices or the people studying, they went to the dark side, and it was really that, and some of the things he experienced that we don't see. We don't see this in the maybe there'll be a movie about this in the future, but we don't see all these things he's talking about. So maybe it made the intensity of that scene not make as much sense to us because we hadn't been through that. We hadn't been through that yet. But if you think about it a bit, bit by bit, it makes more sense. I know that, by the way, Mark Hamill, if he ever watched this video, he'd probably be agreeing more with what I'm saying at this point, especially. You kind of need to let your audience know a little bit sometimes what is, give them a bone to feed on or something. But give them something before you have an emotional conversation like he had with Rey about the Force, so that they are really with him. Or you can not do that. But then the audience members are wondering, wow, geez, Luke was like done with the Force, done with the Jedi. This is like this is I don't know if I use the word traumatic, but it was anyway. So enough of that. I think you would, I think Mark would agree with what I'm saying. That it would have been nice to have a little bit more of to show something about what happened. That aspect, and there you go, director. So anyway, another Star Wars movie that's out of order in the future. So, what else? There's a lot of. I love how this Star Wars it seems to go very well with Asian, not just Asian. It could be other other areas of the world, but really, so much of the ideas are very Eastern, and I think that's always been the way George Lucas intended the whole thing to be. But it's nice to have something like that. And maybe we get some Buddhism. Ideas out of this, and anyway. So other kinds of philosophies. So what else? I think that's about it, really. I very much enjoyed it. I thought it was, again, the other Star Wars movies. There's 2 Star Wars movies that have been out for a little while. At least one, Force Awakens, and then there's Rogue One. Rogue One was acceptable. Force Awakens was pretty pathetic. And this one was home run, I think. But again, I can see a lot of Vorsies, a fair number of them, disagreeing with that, but maybe it has more to do with what we were expecting. More especially in terms of lightsaber duels, but also just that's what we expect. That funny, well, I want to say the Warsy kinds of conversations, right? The interplay of the character, and because you have different characters in the future, it's just gonna be a different set of characters at some point. There's only one left. That's from the original one. Leia, after Luke. Okay, spoiler alert. Luke, Dies. Right? Becomes one with the Force, but Leia's the only one surviving, and you're just gonna have to get used to new characters, Finn, Rey, I guess the Asian fighter that died or something. Poe or something. I can't remember her name. And Kylo Ren. And I guess there's another fighter guy that might come up back in. Alright, leave your thoughts and comments below. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.